Hey everyone, Corrie here coming in to do my monthly channeled messages. Please remember these are not to replace any medical, psychological advice or to be taken as entertainment. This is for Sagittarius. This is for your March 2022, being recorded on March the 6th. So for my fire signs, each one has been very different, which is often there's a similarity between my fires and not so much this month. It was each one was kind of curious. I did record Aries and Leo, and now I'm recording Sagittarius. So I have this practicalness. I'm like, I know fire. I know I have this practicalness, this practical energy that was coming in. So when I just asked the cards, I chuckled because the cards also bring about some of this like practical but mischievous and methodical and thinking through and not overthinking, just really truly like a little bit of like a Sherlock Holmes energy is around my Sagittarius this month. And I'm like, oh, ew, like a Sherlock. So there's a transformation. And so there's a lot of, with that, I was picking up like you're become very curious and a lot of aha moments that are starting to take place of why am I so resistant to the life that provided such a good life? That was one of the questions that came up. I'm like, why? And that was one of the questions that I heard the energy speaking, as if I could hear the souls of some of my people who are Sagittarius. Why am I so resistant of the life that created such a beautiful life? And that's what I keep getting. It's like, oh, there's such a, I don't know why I'm doing this. I'm like, oh, I have somebody here who's like playing with their hair. And so I feel like there's old belief systems that you believe are tied to your some of the greatness that was in your old life. And where the old belief systems are coming in, you're tying it to the material outcome of some of the things that were existing within your life. So you're rejecting some of the greatest gifts that you have, or you are downplaying or trying not to be them at all, but they keep creeping into your life, or parts of that keep, because it is the goodness, it is the nectar. So there is a lot of the nectar that is needed for the next stages of your life that were actually a part of the transformation. They just needed to be cleansed. So sometimes we have to clean the dirt off our treasures that we already found, that we discovered. So you already had that essence of yourself. There's a lot of that truth that was there. It was just like, maybe not everything needed to be totally dismantled or to be let go of. Some things just needed to be refurbished, made more modern, made more, relatable to who you're becoming. So this transformation, what I seen was actually the scaffolds and working on the roof. So, it's like right here is what I've seen. This is Archangel Raphael. Oh, I have to ask Bradley that someday. Bradley Valentine. I feel like Archangel Raphael may have been the writer of these cards for you. So this is Wisdom Tarot. These are by Bradley Valentine. But Shemiel is the angel that goes with the transformation card. And so always holding that hourglass and that speck of sand and the sand flowing through and the time and in divine timing, and everything happens in divine timing. And so this card says a significant life experience that requires changes to be made, powerful and often unexpected revelations, breaking free of procrastination, breaking old belief systems. And so some of the old beliefs is that, maybe the things that you thought, I just did that for everyone else, or but it really wasn't. I'm like, oh, so there's a lot of things that tie to your past that you were trying to not do, not be, that you were trying to dismantle. Like, I'm going to move into a whole new house, right? I got to go to a whole new house. I have to get out of this whole job. I have to leave all this behind. And saying, no, there's an aha revelation that's coming, that just saying, no, it's a dusting, a clearing, a cleaning house, removing stuff like old beliefs around how things were or why things were in your life. But it's not about you leaving behind the person, a lot of the things that were. It's just you have to be the right kind of person to go into what you had already done in your life. I'm like, oh, It's very interesting because then that leads you into the possibility of being in alignment to a new position. Something is putting you in position for some sort of brilliant new success within your life. And so that brings about the world card. And it's like, this brings you freedom. It's like you stop the need to be so finding this versions of yourself of where your gifts come in, because it's like, but this is the world. And I just feel like, see, we got the gold, we got the silver wand. And so we have everything. This is Archangel Jophiel as well coming in. And so the world card is 21. And, often in life, 21 is when we finally get into that sense of being mature, to be that adult, according to society, right? It's like now in the US, it's like that's legal drinking age. 21 is often when you see people, graduating college or being close to graduating, really truly being prepared to start moving out. And so you're an adult now. Now you got it figured out. So a lot of the careers and things that you would have got done, and degrees and stuff you maybe would have gotten, would have been in your earlier age, or certificates or certification and things. So it would have been in the earlier stages of your life. So then you mold it into those positions and you became what was needed for those positions. But then you feel like that position is like suffocating me. It's not working for me. This is not who I am because I've changed. But the problem is that you've changed, but the job that you're in didn't change for you to be able to use the assets of the wisdom and knowledge that you have at the stage and the person that you're becoming. So that's where the blend is coming in. I feel like there's some shifts, and that may also be not just job, that may be in relationships as well. You don't have to dump everything and leave everything behind to get a new life. Sometimes we just got to step in to exploring and becoming that Sherlock Holmes and curious of, how much, why is that still in my mind? And I still have this right here. And if I still have this right here, what was the culprit, right? What was the culprit energy that keeps me from allowing myself to see my treasures as already there? It wasn't the thief in the night. Nothing was stolen from me. It was the essence of, where did it go? Where did I hide that on myself? Where did I neglect to tell myself that? So the world card is bringing about, great success for you, and a lot of things for you to be very proud of coming into spring. I feel like by September, you're going to be like, I thought I was on one road and I had this plan, and then it got turned around and here I am. And I'm actually very happy, and I feel myself being very accomplished. And so there is that sense of accomplishment that will be coming in. With that, then we get the scholars, and mischievous comes in. Oh, this is in the cards. And I'm like, so when we bring in this card and we bring in this energy, notice she's reading, she's discovering. And so it's like really, truly getting to work. And some of this brings back some new areas that ties into old. For some of you, it's taking a whole new degree, a whole new like really, truly learn a lot of new. There's a lot the rabbit brings in. I mean, you know what bunnies do? Bunnies multiply in numbers, right? And so we also have this little plant right here that's just, it's not a seedling. No, it's not a seed no more. It's like this little seedling, this new little plant. It's growing. It's up and out of the pot. It's up over the rim. It's up out of dirt. So your treasures are very much being seen. It is very clear. We know that it's there. So I'm like about to put the card down, and I'm like, I got to bring the card back in again. And I just have this sense of, so we looked at this, and then I'm like, well, what about her? So we looked at the bunny, we looked at the plant, we looked at, the books, the study, maybe even the pentacle behind, but her right here. How much are you constantly trying to study to be the right person to prep to move into life? And, it's like sometimes what you're being told is that you got to step in. And the need to be needed is very great. And so sometimes your need to be needed leads you feeling that depletion, exhaustion, like you have to run away, and feeling like you have to get so you imprison yourself and you trap yourself into like that top floors, like Rapunzel, right? And so then you trap yourself in the stories that really truly keep you believing that, well, that was the way things were. I'm not going to be that again. I'm not going to do that. But some of that was not always the energy of what was around you. It was what you were doing for yourself, doing to yourself in a need to be needed. So the world card is bringing about several options for you. I felt like there was a change in the story right at the end. I'm like, whoa. So it was like, so I have these shifts that are happening, but these are revelations that are coming up, and how powerful our own mind, our own stories, and how quickly we try to run from our lives, or discount or move away from a life the way life was, because we have a story that is tied, but we're not discovering it deeper. So the Sherlock energy is saying, really truly look at your own motives, your own whys, your own, your own behaviors, your own actions, all of those things, and really truly discover within yourself, because the transformation, because you're trying to, have the landing already planned out for the transformation. You're trying to plan out the transformation itself, but the transformation doesn't come as you design it and plan it. Hate to have to tell you. No, transformation comes with a crash fucking landing. Trust me. But there's an awareness to, oh my God, like one of the greatest things that I learned all through everything what I did was, all of this was all to teach me that my mission was to just be a good human, like just be a better human being than I was. It was that simple. It really was that simple. And a lot of the tools, wisdom, and knowledge I already had is what I'm using. I'm back to teaching and using some of the things I already had. Like, interesting. And so those type of things really truly bring us aware to how powerful the need to control the sense of the narrative of our story really is. This is a freedom from being in control of the narrative of the stories we tell ourselves, and that when we look back and we see the things that were there that were working, it's just that who we were becoming in the narrative of our own stories wasn't working for us. So there is some changes that are being brought up for you through this month, Sagittarius, that is really goes with Sagittarius, or if you're cross watching and it feels like it's for you, then it's also for you. But it's that point of where we learn to laugh at ourselves. And there's a lot of humor to be found in that when we start to discover it, because what lets go is ego. So you're freeing yourself of some of the ego, the need to be in control, the need to like have that controlled planning, controlled of what my future is going to look like. That's so organized, right? Like, it's like everything has to have a look, and everything has to have a way. And that's what's going to, right? That sense of consistency. Sometimes consistency is in consistently waking up every day and letting go of everything that is of your old self that keeps you trapped in trying to create things the way that you want it to create it. And so this brings in the sense of then having a new perspective and this introspective like view. So it comes with it then as a new night. And, and this is Archangel Michael's coming in to be the strength, the power to kind of cut the cords for you, the chains that have held you, and, giving you the support that you need on the path to happiness, not just another path of where you got to be, I got to do this, I got to do that, things got to be done, it's got to look like this, I got to make it this. So either which way, you're still in competition and you don't know you're in competition, right? So you're in competition with the ego. And so then Archangel Michael then brings forth this energy of like seeing ourselves like moving forward. So Archangel Michael's right here, and then we see ourselves in that cup, in the emotions, and truly allowing the upside of our emotions, the good sides of our emotions, to truly come in like that white horse, like that knight in shining armor. They're coming to save you from the emotional stories that are having you to discarding and removing everything from your life that really wasn't always a bad thing, and open up the space for you to have good things to come in. And so it's like you find that balance, but it also brings back in then a balance in all relationships in your life. It brings in the balance of being in relationship to yourself. And so this is falling then in love, and we start to fall back in love with life. And I feel like there's a lot of falling back in love with your life, and that creative side, the artistic side of life doesn't always appear as paintings or imagery like that. It means that we let our emotions creatively guide us into letting ourselves be. We can live in a material world. We can live in the systems of the material world and not be a part of the systems, to still be separate from that. We're not, that's not our identity, even if we have to be located in some of those positions. So it's a big message. I hope it resonates with you. It's kind of an all over the place message, but it is one of transformation, and transformation sometimes is not the way that you believe transformation, because you've been really programmed. Even in spirituality, we're programmed and conditioned to what transformation is. And so sometimes transformation is being that Sherlock Holmes and discovery, and to discover that not everything of who we were, we needed to dismantle from our lives. That's not what it's about. It's not about not taking some of what you've learned with you. It's about the aspects of what really worked for me. What was, how does it benefit me? And connecting to that. Much love. Have a beautiful March, and I will see you in April. Bye-bye.